Thanks for coming out. Give yourselves a round of applause. So I live in Northwoods, and I don't have a meal plan, which means I have to sneak into D-Hall. And it's not that hard to sneak into D-Hall. Like, as long as you're confident and you have a good excuse, you can probably get in. Like, it's like, oh, I have to talk to the office, or oh, I'm catering. But after a while, that sort of got too pedestrian for me, and I started seeing, like, what could I get away with and still make it into D-Hall? So I would say things like, oh, too many clams! Like, oh, it's all wet in there! Like, something, Senator McCarthy, thank you. I have a car on campus, and my GPS does a weird thing, where it'll give me my speed and my route and my ETA, but it also gives me my altitude, which seems unnecessary. Like, it's not like a cop is ever gonna pull me over and be like, sir, do you know how far above sea level you were driving? No, officer, I don't. 450 feet, we got another Amelia Earhart over here. Here's a weird thing. On a box of Reynolds Wrap, it says, trusted since 1947. 1947. I thought that was kind of weird phrasing. They didn't say founded, they wrote trusted. So I went to their Wikipedia page, and you want to know when they were founded? 1919. That's 28 years, during which Reynolds Wrap was apparently the bad boy of the anti-food spoilage gang. What, did their CEO have a gang of hoodlums he'd whip up trouble around town with? Like, did teenage girls see commercials for Reynolds Wrap and go, I don't know, I just feel like I can change him. Were people in the 1930s in the supermarket like, hey, should we get some Reynolds Wrap? I don't know. I don't think I trust them. But I don't mean to complain too much. I have a lot of good things going on in my life. Like, my aunt and uncle just had their first kids, twins, which is which is very exciting for my family. And whenever I tell people that, they congratulate me. And I can understand congratulating the mother and the father, but I'm their nephew. I did literally nothing. Like, it would be weird if I did lend a hand, you know? Like, the baby's crowning, they're in the delivery room, they're set to go, and I burst in like, all right, Doc, I'll take it from here. Don't worry, I'm their nephew. My aunt and uncle, though, they're one of those couples, and you guys probably have these people in your own lives where we just couldn't wait for them to have kids because we know they're going to be like the best parents ever. You know what I'm talking about? That's them. Which is much better than the alternative, which are those couples who are like, we're pregnant! And you're like, oh, no. Okay, I think there's been some mistake. You see, we live in a just universe. I think it's weird when people get mad at babies on airplanes. Like, dude, it's a baby. If it's hungry, it's gonna cry. It can't sit up straight and be like, hi, sorry to be a bother. Can we just do like a quick feeding time? We get it? Okay. Also, if you're getting mad at a baby, what do you think you used to be? Like, did you just pop out a fully matured asshole like, hello, I don't tip waitresses? No, you shit yourself and cried about it. Babies aren't dumb, though. Here's how dumb babies are. The reason they swaddle them so tightly in the hospital is to keep them from repeatedly punching themselves in the face. That is true. Here's how bad it is. The phrase, baby punching self in head, yields 1.8 million Google results. And all of them are people on Yahoo Answers going, my baby keeps punching himself in the head, is this normal? And all the answers are like, yeah, they just kinda do that. Babies are dumb. And it's a lot of work to bring a baby into the world. Like, the month before a woman even has to deliver the kid, she has these fake contractions called Braxton Hicks contractions, which sounds like what happens when a black hole collapses. And then when the time comes, she has to go to a hospital. Nobody likes hospitals, and I think I know why. It's because you can never win in a hospital. You can only ever not lose. Like, outside of childbirth, you never hear somebody's going into the hospital and they're like, oh, sounds like somebody's trading up. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, people talk about the miracle of childbirth, but it's the only miracle where you uncontrollably shit yourself. Like when Christ was multiplying the loaves and fishes, nobody was like, hey, can we get Joseph a towel over here? This is getting a little out of hand. It's also the only miracle where a doctor is like, we should probably get you some drugs. You want some drugs? We'll put them right in your spine. It'll be great. But sometimes drugs aren't enough, you know? Sometimes extreme measures have to be taken. You seem like nice people. So I'll try to make this a little more palatable, but I think it's medically relevant that we all know. Sometimes, when a labor is particularly difficult, they will cut the vulva down the middle so that new life may enter the world. Yeah, that sound you just heard is every woman in this room going, never! That will never be me. But you gotta wonder, like, what man invented this technique? Because it was definitely a man. No one with the vagina would ever be that cruel to one. But I just picture some doctor in like the 1740s, drunk on whiskey, and they're just like, doctor, the baby can't get through. And he's like, cut her in half! Speaking of vaginas, have you guys heard of vajazzling? Okay, so some of you. For those who haven't, it's a combination of the words vagina and bedazzle. And I'm sure you're thinking, that makes a lot of sense. You know, you've got chocolate and peanut butter, Batman and Robin, cooch rubies. But what it is for the uninitiated is you go to a parlor, I guess, and you go into like a back room with a technician, maybe, who I would hope has warm hands in a soothing bedside manner, and they proceed to place small fake gemstones on and around your vagina. And the women who get this done tend to report that it makes them feel sexy and rejuvenated and valuable, but where are we at as a society that you have to festoon your labia with pearls in order to feel valuable? Like, we would never hold men to the same standard. It would never be like, your dick's okay, but call me when it's encrusted with diamonds. Some people are like not into vajazzling, they think it's gross, whatever, but I think if I encountered it, I would just be honored. Because I'd be happy enough to be getting laid, let alone finding the hidden treasure of the conquistadors. It'd be like going down on the lost city of El Dorado. That's all of me. Thank you guys so much.